This might be the most disturbing comment section I've ever read. The most unhygienic thing you've ever seen someone do. He vaped and specifically got mint flavors so he didn't have to brush his teeth. He was taking a poop with the door open and I was standing there talking to him, and then he stood up and pulled up his pants without wiping. I said, "Hey, you didn't wipe," and he said, "I'm not done yet," and just walked off to do whatever. What? He'd been using the same towel unwashed for 2 years. He said it was clean because he only used it to get out of the shower. It literally had mold on it. You know what it reminds me of? Nick Miller core. X refused to even touch his own butt or butthole to wash himself in the shower. Would wipe halfway and have pieces of toilet paper stuck in his hole. Imagine my surprise when he orders a giant toy to my house and asks me to peg him. Wait, so he wouldn't touch it, but he wants you to? About the 8th comment down, I started to develop pink eye. He pissed in the bed, and instead of washing the sheets, he got up and hung it to air dry. What? He thought I was weird for washing my ass in the shower. He put on deodorant every 72 hours because the stick said good up to 72 hours. I mean, purposefully not washing under his arms in the shower because he didn't want the deodorant to wash away. Not a replacement for showering, dude. Their phone screen was dirty and they licked it to clean it. Not a spot, the whole screen. Like, ugh. His whole family tried to convince me that it is normal to only brush your teeth once in a while. I was at a family event of his and somehow conversation became how I brush twice a day minimum, and the whole family, not just him, tried to convince me that I was doing too much by brushing and flossing. It was in that moment I knew I was not in the right place. He left mold rings in the toilet. He's been gone for 2 months, no mold rings anymore. How? He took off the corner of the sheet, blew his nose into it, and then put it back on the mattress like he didn't do anything. A family loofah. I don't care how close you are with your family. Absolutely not. His toenails were so long they were curling under. How did he wear shoes? He was sleeping bare, no sheet dorm mattress and had a blanket that reeked of cigs, and he didn't smoke. So I asked what it was from, and he said he got it at Goodwill and hadn't washed it yet? Oh my God. He stayed the night and I asked where his toothbrush was, and he said he just uses mine. He threw up in a napkin at the table, set it aside, and kept eating. I would have thrown up just watching this happen. Suddenly, my boyfriend laying on the bed with his outside clothes isn't so bad. He spit snot into a water bottle that he kept behind his bed instead of getting up and using a tissue. The water bottle was halfway full and brown. He used it in front of me like it was no big deal and then just put it back behind his bed. Was dating a guy that wasn't circumcised, and before we were about to, I was like, "Are you clean?" And he reached down and rubbed around the tip of it and smelled his fingers and said, "Yeah, we're good." Not the smell test. Someone just told me they washed their pillowcase for the first time since 2017 the other day, and I didn't know what the to say. 2017 as in 9 years ago? Went to his house for the first time, and while we were cuddling, I noticed he had a booger wall. Right by our heads in the pillows, he would wipe his boogers on the wall and leave them there to crust. I had a guy tell me he has black sheets because his hemorrhoid was so bad he'd have his finger knuckle deep in his at night itching. I literally don't know what to say. Not my relationship, but my friend said her husband eats his contacts every night. What? I washed my ex's brown sheets and they came out mint green. Oh my God. He woke up in the middle of the night, went to the corner and took a piss right there and laid back down. I left. Good call. Pleasuring her orally once confirmed that she wiped back to front. Ugh. He scooted off the bed right after and left a big streak. Gross. He didn't wipe after taking a number 2, and when I asked why, he said he uses the handheld shower head instead. There was always particles in the shower, the curtain, the walls, and the floor. My guy, just get a bidet. What the fuck? My ex left a cup of loogies on his nightstand and would empty it and then refill it with more loogies. Ugh. He didn't chew his food well, so he would periodically burp up whole portions of his meal. He had fajitas and burp puked a whole Red Bull pepper slice. He spit it out on the ground, then tried to kiss me. Please tell me this is an ex. My ex said he only brushed his teeth before seeing me. I saw him like once or twice a month. At least we got this down to 0. He didn't wear deodorant when we met, but started after I convinced him. We shared the same deodorant, and one day he told me that when his underwear were getting gross, he would put the deodorant directly on them to get another wear. No. He told me he didn't believe in using toilet paper. Why are there so many comments like this? He didn't wipe after pooping. I asked him why. He said it didn't make sense to waste toilet paper since we were about to jump in the shower. I left. Guys, wipe. What? I had to tell him to change out his toothbrush every 3 to 6 months. He had the same one for 7 years. I bought my ex some liquid soap because it smelled nice, and when I went to his after 3 weeks, the seal was still on. There was was no other soap at his place. He finished on his back and it hit the window behind his head. When I came over 2 weeks later, it was still there, dried on the window. Reusing K-tips and floss for weeks. And yes, the Q-tips would have earwax and he kept using them every day and then left them out on his counter. I miss the person I was 10 minutes ago.